Let's see how it merges here. Whoa! Okay, we just downloaded 2020.44.25. Let's take a look and see what we got. Aside from a really slow charge. Open. No? Looking at we're looking at what appears to be bug fixes. Yes, so we did get bug fixes. So that means that we get to find out what changed that they didn't tell us about. I'm curious. So what we're going to do is, since I'm about to get onto a conference call, we're going to find out later what was hidden in this update. So probably some smart summoning, checking out how it does on yellow lights, definitely navigate on autopilot, and then just to see what other quirks pop up while we go about our daily life in the car. We'll catch you on the flip side. We're going to do 2 passes of flashing yellow lights with auto steer turned on and see how the car behaves. Come on. Alright, so it sees them flashing. See them flashing here. I acknowledge it, and it still tries to stop. So, gotta give it some accelerator pedal. And we'll see how it does coming back, but I don't imagine it'll be doing any better. Okay. It doesn't see them yet. Now it does. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. It's green, red, green, red. It's useless. That's a regression. Alright. Acknowledge that green light. So yeah, it's definitely just the flashing yellow lights. And those ones didn't even have the stupid like dancing pattern that used to confuse it so badly. Those are just standard flashing lights. Hopefully City Streets Beta does better than that. I wouldn't know, but we'll find out soon enough. Alright, let's see a short on-ramp, see how it does. Usually I just give it multiple right turn signals and it does it. We'll see if it still does it. Yes. Alright, so here is something I don't understand. It knows all the speed limits. It drops the speed limit down, then it picks it up, or rather, yeah, drops it down right here, and then it never picks it back up. Or if it does pick it up, it doesn't go to the set speed, which should be a percentage above 60. It'll go back to 45 or 50. The camera thinks that my phone is attached to it. It is not. Alright, so 35 here, and no matter how far up I let it go here, it never gets the new speed. And so here, it's really short, so again, give it a signal to help it out, because by the time it realizes I'm grabbing it, it won't figure it out. Alright, so it goes up to 50 and stays at 50 for the whole way. In fact, it might even drop down again if I set it properly up here. There we go. Alright, we'll see if these people cut us off because of our incredibly slow speed. There's nothing I can do about that with the people we're following, and that we're jumping into a traffic jam. Alright, but the set speed is not dropped. Usually right after this merge here, right up approaching that large multi-directional sign, it may reset itself again. Here it usually, at the higher speeds, it is very unstable making that turn. It's not even a sharp turn, but it acts like it is. So unstable and wobbly. I feel that it's going to do that still at the other speeds, just because of how it felt at the slow speed. And whenever this truck lets us in, the car will make the maneuver. There we go. And as we pass the sign, we'll see if it drops to something ridiculous. Usually like 45 or 50 by the time we pass this sign. But the whole time it reads 60, so it knows what the speed limit is. It just decides that, oh yeah, we're gonna make you a traffic hazard. All right, so either it didn't do it this time or they have fixed the bug. One thing I didn't check was to see what map release we're on. 2020.48 still, okay. And so let's get a feel for how autopilot and navigate on autopilot in Mad Max mode do, and we'll report back. We'll catch you on the flip side. This person in front of us just cut in, and the car handled it nicely. It didn't do an abrupt stop. It just gently let off the accelerator and slowed down. I forgot to plug in my Tesla Cam drive, so I don't have video. And change to faster lane, it says, okay. The navigate on autopilot logic seems fine. It's not making any weird choices. It's not playing chicken like it did that one update. It's not chicken as in scared, but chicken as in seeing who will back down first, us or the other car. Let's see, this person might cut over. No, thankfully, because there wasn't much we could do there. As long as this truck doesn't do the same. Okay, sorry. There's a lot of bad drivers around here. And, well, had a bad experience. Let's just say that. All right, so next you'll see us coming up to the turn that the car doesn't advertise that it can do, but it does it. And we'll see how it does. And the reason we're going as slow as we are is the other lane is going very slow. And so the car is anticipating somebody will be a smart person and jump out with no signal. I don't blame the car for that. I blame the people who treat their pedals like light switches. I do have it set to a 4 for follow distance, so it's doing good. All right, we're now approaching the exit. The car says it's going to do it again this version, at least according to the map there. All right, we get a signal. That part's normal. It's going to follow the lane. That part's normal. And then it'll pick the correct exit lane. That part is not advertised. Well, not for those of us without City Streets Beta. All right, there we go. Signals. See how not smooth it does. It's got shadow on the lane. Oh, that was pretty smooth. It's still wild gyrations of the wheels. No cries for help. It still thinks that this is a exit, so it stops. Let's go to the Mexican grocery store. All right, it wants to make a U-turn, but it didn't give us anywhere near enough warning for that, so I couldn't get over 3 lanes. Let's see what happens now. Probably still tell it to make a U-turn up here. Yep. All right, so I do like the routing of the new maps. Nothing to complain about. Catch you on the flip side. Resuming from a red light is leisurely at best. Let's see how it does when there's a lead car. And I'll cut to the actual action because this light just turned red. Well, you can see the acceleration was, it was leisurely. It wasn't bad, but that veer into the next lane was odd. I think the only reason it didn't change lanes was because the van was there. But definitely so far feels like a B-Team release. I'm going to reboot the computer when we get to the Mexican grocery store and Luna does her shopping and see if it behaves any differently on the way home. Let's see how it merges here. Whoa! That one was me. There goes the camera case. The person was in the lane, and I wanted to steer and give it a little bit of goose, but I gave it too much goose. That person was jumping out of the lane, and the car didn't like it, and I didn't like it, and I pushed too hard on the pedal. Nope, the plug is back there somewhere. The car still wants to take the whole lane up on the on-ramps, which is not optimal. Around here, it actually does something. Like, all the people who want to pass on the on-ramp, it moving over makes it so they can't do that, but it doesn't make it right. Just because they're doing wrong and you're doing wrong doesn't make it, two wrongs don't make it right. But interesting choice. I wouldn't try to shove it in there, but yeah. So it instead of persisting the lane for a little bit to see what happens and see what's going on and continuing on the path, it immediately recenters, just like it always has. And I really don't think it should do that, because the left lane marker didn't disappear. If they both disappeared or both veered out, that's fine. And here, if it wasn't turning and that the one line wasn't there, it would have centered itself there. Right, let's see if it lowers the speed limit here to 45 and then picks it back up. We'll see. There's a cop. All right, so it did not. All right, you say you want east, but you're in the lane for. Oh no, you say you want west and you're in the lane for west. That's good. Okay, so there is no proper turning lane to pick because it turns into a curve. There's 45. Turns into a curve and then gets off the road. All right, so now we're in regular autopilot. And we'll see if it takes this curve at a natural speed or at 25 miles an hour. Tell you what, this car has never believed my hand's been on the wheel. My Model S never had that problem. All right, we're slowing down. 40, okay. 35, okay. Yes, the sign says 20, but it can go a little higher. All right, yeah, this is decent. All right, let's see if it thinks that there's a stop at the end of the lane, which there is not. And let's see how this Audi behind us handles that. All right, so I give it a little bit of accelerator because it's trying to exit, or trying to pretend there's an exit. Yeah, the Audi thinks he's fast, eh? Ain't got nothing on this P100D, baby. All right, I'm gonna steer to avoid the manhole covers. Yes, I know I'm leaving the lane. Get them to fix the road. All right, so we did apply a little bit of counter steer to my maneuver, and that was the right move. All right, let's see if we can't get over. Nope, I have to manually do this because it's a double lane change. Triple, actually. All right, we'll catch you on the flip side. The mysterious slowdowns for no reason. This one was through a school zone, but it wasn't at the school zone sign. It was because the crosswalk light was not lit up. It slowed down to about 500, the speed limit, and threw up a stop bar, which I acknowledged, and it still proceeded to go through slowly. So that behavior hasn't changed. This parking lot is typically more of a flurry of activity than even the Asian grocery store that Linda likes to visit. So I might get an auto park video, and I will probably not do a smart summon. We'll try. We get stuff like this, just stop to the main drag for no reason, go to the next aisle guy. Anyway, this will be where I take the opportunity to reboot the MCU, just to be sure that any weirdness has been flushed out. Because I typically do not restart the MCU in between updates, unless I see a reason to. All right, so here is a valid spot with a crooked driver, so the car will park crooked if it takes that spot. And let's even offer it. It does. All right, so shift into reverse. Let's go to the brake. Switch to the wide angle camera for you. Hit start. This looks like it's going to be a failed auto park. I don't like that the stuff doesn't appear here if you've got the other cameras on. But it does still appear in the screen on this side. It might actually succeed at this one. We'll see. If it needs a second adjustment, it's going to give up. I don't like that feathering of the pedal it did there. It was like it wasn't sure what it was doing. All right. As long as it stops at the end, we got a good auto park. Yeah! You really pulled it back out of that one. Catch you on the flip side. It appears that the volume knob is once again disconnected from the videos. Here I am adjusting the volume, and nothing is happening. But if I come over here, it's still nothing. Play and pause are still connected. This is YouTube again. What I didn't try, oh, that is cool. So the 360 does work in the car. This is our video of a scenic drive through Northern Virginia and Southern Maryland in 8K. Obviously the car is only playing it in HD instead of 8K because of our screen setup here. But that's cool. Frame rate is a little bit to be desired, but hey, it is functional. All right, so we're going to try a smart summon to target and see how it works out. All right, so we don't want to do come to me because, well, we're in the car. So we're going to go and we're going to do summon, smart summon, and we're going to pick a place. Hopefully a place that is out of the way. Let's go here because we're going to have to stop and put a pin in. And we're going to go to target and hold it. I don't know why she's recording me instead of the environment around us. I don't have the Sentry camera again because I left it. Here we go. Check to make sure there's no people in a rush. And hold it down. Summon failed. Try again. Summon is stopping. All right, looks like it's working this time. Okay. It's an interesting path it's choosing. Well, it's going where I told it to go. All right, well. All right. Smart summon works. So that smart summon was a little unsteady, but it went exactly where it was supposed to go, and it didn't hit anything, even though it did get a little close. So I've already restarted the MCU, and next thing we'll do is we're going to try and see if there's any behavioral difference with Navigate on Autopilot returning home. And we'll catch you on the flip side. Okay, we're coming up to that crosswalk again. Let's see how it behaves. Probably poorly. All right, it's green light because this person is going through. Or sorry, green line. All right, it did great with the lead car, doing 10 under the speed limit. It did much better than when we went through on our own. One thing I'm not sure of, and I hope it is the case is that there was an exploit detected for the Model X key fob security where people could clone your keys or get in without the key. And if you didn't have pin to drive or pin to glove box set, then they could get into your car and ruffle through stuff or take it. We've had pin to drive ever since the 3 cars were stolen from, sorry, the 4 cars were stolen by 3 people from the service center up here. And so thankfully that was not a huge concern. I mean, I still don't want them to be able to open the door unless they have a Tesla laptop and log in and are current employees with permission and a service ticket. But I definitely don't want any random thieves to be able to open the door and take my car. So the way I have it set up, they could only open the door. They couldn't take the car or open the glove box without force. So I think this is probably one of the bug fixes that that was not listed, and I hope it is. But if not, it'll be soon. So let's see how it does on the highway again, and we'll come back with a conclusion, and we'll catch you on the flip side. All right, here she is getting on the highway. I don't think that speed will pick up any. All right, there's no oncoming traffic. Let's let it bump up. And okay, maybe a little too fast for this on-ramp because the on-ramp is tiny. All right, it's smart about it. Thankfully, it doesn't run this Ford over. Woo. I don't like the way they repainted this this particular on-ramp. It looks like it will cause more accidents than it needs to. All right, there we are. One of my friends in another club had said that on the Model 3, turning this scroll wheel no longer dismisses the hands-on wheel notification. So I'm just going to hover my hand here in case I need it. And then when the car asks me to touch the wheel, I will scroll and see what happens. Because this stalk back here, for the autopilot cruise stalk, and the play, pause, skip buttons are still doing it for my Model X. And I didn't explicitly try the scroll wheel, but I didn't remember it not working, so we're about to find out. All right, so apply slight turning force. There you go, Mr. DMZ. Scroll wheel still works on the Model X and Model S. Our rear view camera screen used to get these lines across it, little green lines when it got cold. I'll insert a video clip of that if I still have any. So on our most recent mobile service visit, Tesla replaced the camera and reflashed some of the FPGAs inside the MCU. So not sure if you'd call that a firmware update or... I mean, it was a firmware update, but not a full one like for the car. It was just for the camera chips in the MCU. It hasn't been cold enough to see if that has rectified our issue, but it probably did, because the FSD computer is the only other component in there that hasn't been replaced other than the cabling itself all the way to the back. That and the MCU itself, but hopefully it's not that, and we'll find out on another trip, because right now it's 61 degrees and it's not cold enough to make it act up. I think they may have changed the graphics for the car a little bit. It seems a little bit smoother and maybe a little more colorful when it's in the close zoom. Interesting. Of course, as I'm recording it, it zooms all the way out because we're on the highway now. But on that long ramp, it got really detailed. So this release 2020.44.25, I'd say that if you're already on a 2020.44 release of any from vanilla all the way up to this version, I'd say go ahead and do the update. If you use Smart Summon a lot, I would probably stay on whatever version you're on where Smart Summon is working. If you're on 2020.44 vanilla, no dot anything, then yeah, at least Smart Summon will turn on now. So definitely come on over. And then if you have the Model X, then I would probably also upgrade, because this might fix that key vulnerability with the key fob. I want to thank folks like Jason B, our patrons, who make this a little easier to accomplish. And over here, you'll see some videos that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy, and down in the corner, you'll see a subscription bubble. And we'll catch you on the flip side.